Hello guys, it's Steven here and welcome back to another gaming PC peripherals review. And today we're going to check out the GAMDIAS RS gaming keyboard. Now well, GAMDIAS, they are a huge company, but honestly I haven't heard so much about them before, probably because they are from the USA and I'm actually from Europe. But they've contacted me if I'm interested in reviewing some of their products, and I said yes, they look actually kinda exciting. So today we have here the RS gaming keyboard, and this is a really cheap gaming keyboard. It retails for only 30 to 35 bucks currently in sale on Amazon, so really cheap. I also did a review on the other products like this gaming mouse, the GAMDIAS Erebos, and it reminds me a lot of my old Razer Death Adder. So from the form factor and everything, comes with a multicolor LED here in the mouse wheel, optical gaming mouse, so there's also a laser version, but I've got here the optical one, which is still a nice deal. And today I just want to review the keyboard because it also comes with multicolor LED backlight, and this would look really cool if you combine both of them together. And you can also tune them and edit the macros in the Hera software suite, which is also included, and this is a really great suite with a lot of functions, so you can spend a whole week in there to configure your keyboard. Then this keyboard comes with 320 kilobytes built-in memory to store macros, voice recordings, so this is really a nice feature in such a cheap gaming keyboard. 23 key rollover, grooves on the bottom, and yeah, the software suite, which I will explain a little bit later. Okay, so here you can see it with this thing here attached, which I will show you then. And now guys, let's get directly started. Let's have a look at the keyboard and let me tell you my opinion on it. But as always, don't forget to check out the link down below in the description if you're interested. So guys, there we go. Here's the keyboard, and the build quality so far, it's okay. It looks very futuristic, it looks a little bit like a race car, and the whole body quality, it could feel a little bit better, so it feels like cheap plastic, but honestly for the price it's definitely okay. The buttons, they feel good to press, they have some nice grip, and all the buttons, they are labeled, as you can see, also the macro buttons. And the numpad, it's a little bit sticky because I spilled some beer on it. And it says in the datasheet that it comes with 4 holes under the keyboard, so if you actually spill something on the keyboard, it should run down and through the holes out of the keyboard, so it doesn't stay in your keyboard. Good thing, but I haven't tested it, and the numpad, it's still a little bit sticky, so I would have to clean that. Now regarding the build quality of the keyboard, it's okay. Only thing I don't like is that this thing here is coming off easily. So yeah, you see it's a little bit too long, so this stays out here. And yeah, sometimes it's coming off. And that's basically the cover here for the numlock LED, caps lock and gaming LED. But the rest is very solid, looking good. Here we have the USB connector. It's gold plated. The design here looks a little bit strange. I would prefer a normal one. And you see the cable has some nice coating, so you don't easily damage the coating. That looks really kind of good. Cable is around 1.5 meters long, so that's okay. Alright guys, so that's just regarding the build quality. Then let's have a look at the buttons. So we have a full-size keyboard, as you can see. Unfortunately, that is the US version, and you know, in Europe we have the German keyboard. So it's very hard for me to type. And yeah, all those things here, they are now wrong labeled if I use the German keyboard layout. So if you order that and you're from Europe, you really have to check out what keyboard layout you're ordering. I think it's possible to order different keyboard layout, but if you're not used to the English one, then better keep your hands off of that, because it's really sometimes hard for me to find buttons which are not on the keyboard. But well, you see it comes with function buttons, it comes with a game mode button, which is also the Windows button. It comes here with several macro buttons like G1, G2, G3. So we have 3 of them here. Here we have another 3, it's T1, T2, T3. Then here we have T4, T5, T6. So you get 9 additional macro buttons. Then the keyboard, it should be a 4-layer structure. Not really sure what that means, but it seems to be really kind of solid. Now, except of that, I think there's not so much to say about the keyboard. You can see here's another GAMDIAS logo. This doesn't light up. All the buttons, they have LED backlight, but you cannot just, for instance, just make one half blue, one half red, so you cannot separate that. you can only change the backlight of all keys. That's kind of sad because it wouldn't be such a huge problem to give, for instance, this part here a blue color, here a green one, here a red one. I mean, that would look really great, but I haven't found the option to edit that, and I think it's not possible. Macro buttons. Now, something I don't like is that they are very close here to the space button. So when I'm gaming, you see what happens. I mean, it would be easy for me to press the T1 button, so if it's a useful button, but if I'm not using it at all, then I will just press it accidentally when I hit the space button, and this happens to me really often. And honestly, I had to unbind all those 3 buttons because it's really annoying that they are so close to the space button. And that's just for me because I have a big hand, and you see my thumb is, it's very much here to the right, and all those buttons, they're under the space key, so usually I just press them accidentally, something I don't like. Then here you have some more of those macro buttons, and they're here on WASD. Now they are pretty good, and for instance I would like that those macro buttons are either here or here, but not under the space key, because this is sometimes really annoying. For instance, if you have the gaming mode button on this one here, then you switch to multi-WASD and then you just fuck up your whole config, and yeah, it kind of sucks, but that's the only thing so far I don't like regarding the design and placement of the keys. Okay, yeah, that's basically it. Then let's turn it around and let's have a look at some other things on the keyboard. So guys, here's the bottom side of the keyboard. GAMDIAS RS gaming keyboard, 5 volts, 0.3 amps. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. So those are the holes. If you spill water on the keyboard, water should actually flow down there and come out of the keyboard. Now, not really sure if that is the lowest point, but yeah, maybe that should work. I have no idea, I haven't tested it so far. We have Teflon pads here, 1, 2, 3, and also here on the stands. So here we have some Teflon or rubber pads, so you get some good grip and the keyboard is not sliding around on your desk. Maybe you've noticed it, if you buy some $5 cheap-ass keyboard like Microsoft shit or Sherry keyboard, then usually you don't have such rubber pads and then your keyboard is sliding around making strange noises on your desk. This keyboard doesn't do that, and that's a good thing. Okay, cable is coming out here in the middle, and you see those stands, they are foldable, and yeah, that's the whole keyboard here from the bottom side. And here, if you want to open it up, you can just unscrew that to clean it. It's actually pretty easy to do that. It's a 4-layer structure, so you have several layers in there, and yeah, that's the GAMDIAS keyboard. Then let me turn it around and let me quickly show you something else. Now guys, let me show you another feature. So this keyboard also comes with plastic ergonomic wrist rest. I'm not using that at all because it makes the keyboard so damn huge, but it's a nice thing if you like that. Honestly, I don't like the feeling having my wrists on such a plastic thing. It would be better if that would be, I don't know, rubber or some smooth and soft material. But let's check it out. You see, it comes with some more Teflon pads. It's actually a solid plastic structure. In each side we have one magnet, so this easily attaches to your keyboard, just like this. Just see? And boom, it's attached and you can easily remove it. It holds pretty good in place, but really it makes the keyboard too big for me. And also the feeling from my wrists on the plastic here, I think it's not too good. It would be way better if that is some really smooth and soft material, but that plastic thing actually feels worse than without. So I'm not using that at all, but if you like it guys, then you could use that. So it's included in the price, and yeah, not really a thing I would actually use. Oh yeah, the keyboard is now connected to the computer, and here you can see it. So I switched off some of the lights so you can see the LED backlight a little bit better. When it's really bright in the room, you also see it, but not so strong. But when it's dark in your room, the LED backlight looks super awesome. You can see the GAMDIAS logo. It lights up here in gold, yellow, orange, whatever that color here is. And here you can see some of the macro buttons. They also light up here in yellow. And the rest of the keyboard lights up in the color of your choice. So we can now use the RGB color changer. For instance, I can switch to yellow, so I just hit the OK button, it's yellow. I can switch now. What color do you want, guys? We want some red, right? So yeah, how do I mix red? Like this. You can see it's now red. Then we can just make some pink. So we have to mix blue and red, and there we go. So actually that's purple. I just fucked up the color. But you can mix a lot of colors, but sometimes you don't see a real big change between the colors because, yeah, the LEDs, you know, they sometimes don't really change the color when you do a slight adjustment with the RGB color changer. So maybe some of the colors, they will look equal, but you can basically mix every color you want to. Okay, then here we have the rainbow effect, so that's pulsing. And you see it's switching then, for instance, all 4 seconds, all 6 seconds, or 8 seconds between the colors. You can also set the time in the software suite. And yeah, you can adjust the brightness, so that's lowest brightness. Here we have low brightness, medium, maximum. And also here we have this one here, so it's flashing only one color. Yeah, there are a lot of things you can do. You can even make white backlight, so that's really cool. But as you can see, the backlight of the GAMDIAS logo, it's never changing, but it's also pulsing if you have this enabled in the software. And you see also the color here of those macro buttons, it's not changing. But funny thing is that those macro buttons, they have the color of the keyboard. So we have an LED panel here, and here we have the gold or yellow one. Okay, so that's the backlight, and I really like the backlight. It's looking super awesome. Then now let's go to the computer, and yeah, let's have a quick look at the software suite. So there we go, guys. We're now here on the computer. Let me quickly show you the software suite. It's here, it's the Hera software suite. You can download it from gamdias.com. And well, this will give you a zip file. You have to extract it. In there you will find the hera.exe file. You run it and you're in there. A simple installer would be better in my opinion, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, so we're now here in there. Let's go here to the settings. So you can basically switch the background, all the colors. You can switch the explanation language if you want to do that, and the keyboard mapping, but only if you have the English layout, then only between US and UK. Alright, so I cannot switch to German here in this software, but in Windows you can switch to every layout you want to, but well, it's still hard for me to find all the buttons. But the good thing is that you can just rebind buttons, so let me go out of this settings thing there. And here you can see the keyboard, and first of all you have to tap key assignment, so basically you can rebind every single key. For instance, if you don't want to use the P button, then just rebind it to another button. So you click the key here on the keyboard, you click here, and then you just enter a new button like Ctrl+Shift+Z or whatever you want to, and then you can just store it in the profile here, and you can have up to 10 profiles or something like that. Here you can switch between a 6 and 23 key rollover. Now if you have a 6 key rollover, then you can press up to 6 buttons at the same time and they are not conflicting. If you need more, I'm not sure why you would need that, then you need a 23 key rollover, so this supports up to 32 keys at the same time. Okay, here we have macro management, and I just played around with that. You can do really nice things. So basically you just create a new macro right over here. You just name it like test, and there you go. Now you can record a macro, and you can also choose mouse tracking if you want to use that. So basically it then tracks your mouse, and you don't need to have a GAMDIAS mouse. My mouse is not from GAMDIAS right now. Okay, so we now go to record. And oh sorry, I have to click at the macro first, and it's somewhere here. Okay, let's create a new macro here in the folder AS, and there we go. Let's go to record. So it's now recording, and for instance I now go here to start, open it up, you see it records that. I go to this PC, I click in here and I write test, enter. Okay, so now this just is the whole macro. We just stop it, and now you can just bind it to any button on your keyboard, and you can also play that macro and it's doing the same thing, so that's actually really cool. Now to bind it, you have to go, for instance, where is it? I think we have to go back to the key assignment. We just go here to the G1 button, and here we just choose, for instance, macro. So you see you can also bind media controls or Windows functions to that. It's really, really cool. We go to macro, and here we choose a recorded macro. It's in the folder, and here we have the AS macro. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this should actually work right now. So let's try it. G1. You see it opens up this PC. It goes in there and it writes test. perfectly nice without anything. And you can also set the delay. You can basically code everything. You can do really nice things. You can do a click bot in an online game. You can do whatever you want to. Pretty cool. Now the next thing, keyboard luminance. We have already seen that. Here we have the RGB color changer. You can mix every color you want to. It now shows also the color in real time. So if I set this here to OK or pulsing, it now shows exactly the color here in the application, which is showing up on the keyboard. So really nice actually. And you can also have different profiles here for your keyboard luminance. Okay, sound timer, yeah, you can record sounds, you can just make a timer, you can bind this to the buttons you've seen before. So basically you bind it the same way like we did with the macro. Here we have a sound recorder, so once again you can record here stuff which I'm actually not doing. Same goes for the timer, so you can create your own timers, countdowns if you want to time something. Actually, I will never use that, honestly. Okay, that is really cool. That's muscle memory, and this shows you which buttons you use the most. Like, I was playing Counter-Strike a lot with that keyboard, so yeah, you see what I've used very often, WASD, then RT, reloading, okay, quite often too. Why the M button? I don't know anymore, but you see I haven't really used the macro buttons because I actually don't use macros, but if you're into that, you can definitely do that. But you see here a lot of stats from the keyboard, how often you've pressed the keys. I mean, it's really funny to watch that, how much weight you did put on the keyboard, how much time you have wasted in front of your damn computer. I mean, yeah, now I just see what my fingers are doing all day long. Strange thing. Okay, last thing is update and support. Basically, you can update here the software and you can update your keyboard also there if there's an update for it. Okay, that's basically it. That's the software suite. All in all, I absolutely like it. It's well coded. I really love the macro management because you can make click bots. You can, if you're into MMORPGs, I think this could be very useful for World of Warcraft or whatever, but I'm not playing this shit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the software suite. All in all, nice thing. And let's come now to my conclusion about that keyboard. So my little friends, we're now here at the end of this review, and here comes my final conclusion about the GAMDIAS RS gaming keyboard. Now for the price, if you keep in mind that this thing is only 35 bucks, it's a really good deal. So the keyboard is actually nice. I think the lifetime of it will be pretty good too. The built-in memory and the RGB color backlight, that's definitely very good for the price, but I just don't like that you only can configure the whole keyboard and not, for instance, the numpad red, the rest blue. Unfortunately, that's not possible. At least I didn't find the settings, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, the keyboard itself, build quality, it's okay. For sure, my Logitech has better build quality in my opinion, but it's also double the price. And just the only thing I don't like is that this thing here is coming off a little bit. I mean, it doesn't really come off, but if you know that it's standing out here a little bit, you always play around with it and then it's gone. Okay, all in all, keyboard is nice. Some things I don't like is the placement of those macro buttons. I accidentally pressed them, and basically what you can do with them too, what I forgot to say, is that you can switch WASD with the arrow key. So basically you can have WASD here if you want to have that. So for some games that can be useful. You can switch to attack mode. Basically if you then hit one button once, it just presses the button 3 times. So you just type W and it types WWW, AAA, SSS, DDD. And really strange, actually, not sure why you would need that, but I'm not such a hardcore gamer. I just play Counter-Strike Global Offensive and some things a lot, but I don't need that in that game, honestly. But the keyboard, really not too bad. Unfortunately, I cannot really use it because it's American keyboard layout, but I will donate it to a student we have at university. He comes from America and he can't deal with our keyboards here, so he will have a lot of fun with that keyboard. And yeah, thanks to GAMDIAS for sending this one out. Had a lot of fun testing it. Really not a bad keyboard for the price, but keep in mind, you should be from America, or maybe you can order it in a different keyboard layout. But also the software suite did only support English and UK, but make sure you check it out on Amazon, so I will see if there's a different keyboard layout. All in all, really nice keyboard. Cannot say so much about the lifetime because I have only used it for 2 weeks. Have spilled some beer in the numpad, but it's still working. And so far so good. Software suite is probably the best thing about this because it's so customizable. Alright guys, then thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. See you again in my next videos, and bye bye!